Hey everyone, and welcome to the video. And today what we have is another unboxing, and whilst I thought I was done with all of the AliExpress specials, there was one product that was actually referred to me by somebody in the comments in one of my previous videos, and that was the Magsafe Duo charger. But this one is actually referred to as Q500, I believe. Originally I had actually seen these, and the premise with these is that basically they actually have the watch section that you can actually fold up, as opposed to the one that I originally had in my previous video, where this was just all flat. So you can charge both of them. It gives you the Magsafe symbol and sound, but the watch would only charge being flat. So the idea with this is it just has the part that folds up essentially. As I said, I did actually see these quite a while back, maybe a couple of months ago. I wasn't convinced back then, but what I did was I contacted one of the sellers regarding this product and basically just asked for some original pictures basically. And I also went for this for the simple reason that it actually comes in black. So unlike all the other ones which are all white, this one actually comes in black, so it actually matches my sort of bedside table a bit better. So this is the packaging that it's come in. So if we take a look, obviously it's got Apple-esque sort of pictures and everything on it, illustrations. This size I don't believe is similar to genuine packaging, so obviously they've not gone all out in terms of trying to match the packaging. And when you slide it out, this is definitely not Apple-esque. So you have a very cheap and flimsy plastic tray. We do get a cable with it, so we have a USB-A to USB-C, and what we'll do is we'll take this out. Okay, so USB-A to USB-C cable. I probably won't use this just yet for the simple reason that the charger that I'm going to test this with is actually my Magsafe, my MacBook charger, just to make sure that it's getting enough voltage. So this is how it's actually come, basically just wrapped in some plastic. Let me see if I can get into this without the need of, yeah, we should be all right. So if I unwrap, and as I say, the black was really the only reason I've actually gone for this particular product, simply because it'll match my setup a bit better. So this is essentially what we have. Now the seller did actually claim that this was all metal, and looking at this isn't metal, this is plastic. Hopefully that shouldn't really be too much of an issue. It has got some plastic on here, I'm just trying to get that off first. Okay, so that's the plastic removed. So the watch section, as you can see, it is plastic, and it doesn't look very high quality plastic either. I mean, this is the kind of plastic where it'll literally scratch with your skin. Basically any type of debris, dust, anything will actually scratch this up. But hopefully that's not too much of an issue, because at the end of the day I'm just using this to charge my device. Now one thing that I have noticed is, actually no, I was just about to say this is actually the opposite of the one that I've got, but it does actually match up, because the phone does actually charge on the right hand side. Obviously the fact that this folds up just means that I now have to essentially flip this round, so I'll have to use it probably like this, because my cable actually comes up from this side. So what I'll do is I have a MacBook charger here, and the only reason I'm using this is because I want to make sure that it's getting enough juice to be able to test it with the animation and things like that. So what I'll do is I'll just get a power cable set up. And okay, so here we are back. So I have some power hooked up to the actual power charger itself. The watch section of it is pretty flimsy, being completely honest, but obviously having it this way does mean that you can actually charge your watch a bit easier, and you can also use the clock screensaver essentially that comes up once you're actually charging your phone. So first thing we need to test is whether or not it gives us the animation for Magsafe. So it does do the sound, and what I'll do is I'll just take that off again, I'll lock the phone, and then we'll do it again. Yep, so it gives us the sound. And now I'll take my Apple Watch and just chuck that on there, and as you can see, it does also give us the animation on there as well, and this is still charging. And one thing that you will note is if I just take it close to it, it snaps straight on. Now one thing that, having used the other Magsafe Duo that I actually had prior to this one thing to note for anybody out there that's actually buying any of these Magsafe chargers is, especially these ones, not so much the individual, the puck style ones, but more so the duos. And one thing that I did notice was if it doesn't actually latch on exactly, then it doesn't actually do the animation. So I'll just let that clear, and then I'll just latch it back on. And occasionally what will happen is, say for example, if you just put it down and it's not quite perfectly centered, you won't get the animation. And if that's the case, then you're not actually getting the full charging speed either. So that's just something for you to be aware of for whenever you are actually using these particular chargers. Obviously, I'm not really that bothered about charging speeds for the simple reason that I charge it when I'm sleeping, so it's always going to be fully charged by the time I wake up. But for anybody else out there that basically is a bit more wary in terms of they need it to charge a bit faster, obviously just be aware that it does. You can actually get it to snap on without it actually being seated properly. So I'm just going to get my phone out of the case, and what we'll do is we'll just test this with no case fitted as well. And I think I've actually muted it. Yeah, I have. So once again, we'll just let that clear. And as you can see, it actually grips on quite nicely. For some reason it actually allows you to spin it around quite freely. Obviously this material is not very grippy, it's actually reasonably slick, so I don't know whether that won't actually impact Magsafe cases in the same way. I mean that does snap on quite well. So just pop the case back in, try it one last time. And as you can see, working perfectly fine. Now this whole setup, I believe actually cost me around £14, I believe, for the Magsafe Duo. And obviously it comes with a cable with it, but I don't have a USB-A charging brick that will actually give it enough power, and I believe the one that I've got that set up there already has already got a USB-C cable connected to it anyway. So I won't be using this, but essentially all you would need would be a power brick that gives you at least 18. I believe it's 20 watts, but you need at least 18 in order to get the phone to actually do the animation and charge properly. But yeah, considering they actually ended on a downer last year, at the end of 2020. This is actually a pretty good start for AliExpress in 2021. Now, it's not all good news. Unfortunately, I have actually ordered another item, and because of Brexit, we now get charged tax by AliExpress on top of any purchase price. So the item that I've purchased, I won't tell you what that is in this video. I'll have another video coming for that. But basically, it's not all good news, but essentially for this particular product, just unplug that now, and we'll just take a closer look at all the details. So in terms of the center section, when you've got it flat, essentially that is how the white one ends up as well. And in fact, what I'll do is I'll go get the white one just so then you've got... Okay, so here we are back, and this is the original sort of Magsafe Duo that they actually came up with. So as you can see, no real branding or anything. It's got some imprinted text just there giving a few specs and stuff. Now, one thing that I did state in one of my previous videos is you do get a little bit of transfer, and I don't know whether this is literally just because of the material that they've used for this particular white color, but you are starting to get some transfer on there. So I suppose that's one good thing about the black version, is the fact that it should hide all of that. To be perfectly honest, I'm not really that bothered about that at all. Literally the only difference with this is, in order to use this one, I used to have to do that. So you flip your band over, and then it basically grips on. And as you can see, both of these obviously have the magnets. I'd say they're probably about the same in terms of strength. I've never had an issue with the watch or the phone not charging on this particular charger, so that's one good thing about it. Obviously this it's literally just the fact that you can fold it up, so it gives me a choice which way around I want to actually use it. And what it also does is it means that it just matches, it blends in with the rest of my bedside setup a bit better. This will now get moved to downstairs, and basically anybody, well, more than likely just my wife will be able to use that during the day say if she has any need to actually charge up her phone. I'm actually using her phone at the moment to make the recording, so she'll be wanting that back. So what I'll do is I'll wrap this up now. A good start in terms of 2021 in terms of this particular product. I believe they're labeled on AliExpress as Q500, but what I'll do is I'll find the seller that I actually purchased this from, because one other thing that the seller actually did for me was he actually listed it with a reasonable value rather than overstating like some of the sellers did with a lot of the Magsafe chargers that I'd actually ordered previously. So for that reason, obviously it not only got delivered very fast, but it obviously came without any additional taxes. Now that we're past January the 1st, we now have to deal with the fallout of Brexit, and that's obviously for anybody in the UK. For anybody else abroad or anywhere else, this is basically the product that you'll be getting. As I say, I did mention in the original video for this one, the hinge mechanism itself, even on the genuine ones, it's been reported that it's only good for say 2.5 years. So if you are, and I think you might just be able to actually just see it there, so that little bit there, it's actually a lot more visible on the black than it is on the white. On the white one you really can't tell where the cable actually goes through, but on this it's actually really evident. But as I say, for me it's literally just going to be sat on a desk, so it really doesn't make any difference for me. But for anybody else out there that's actually looking at this and buying this for the sole purpose of it being more portable, then obviously this now gives you a bit more flexibility in terms of being able to buy something like this for around a tenth of the price of the original one, and it'll do everything that the original one does. As I say, it may not be as durable as the original one, but even that, obviously people have already stated that it's not as durable as most would hope for from a product that costs, I believe it's around £120 in the UK. So this at around £14-15, they vary, obviously seller to seller. You'll be able to eventually, obviously I bought this very early, so eventually some of the other sellers that have actually bought them in bigger batches will actually be able to provide these for a bit less and do them a bit cheaper. But at the moment I believe they're selling for around £14, so for that price obviously you really can't go wrong with this. Anyway, that's it for this video. I do have quite a few other videos coming up very soon, so if you haven't already done so, please do subscribe to the channel. I'm getting close to the 2,000 subscriber mark this year. I'm hoping to do a lot of big things. I'm hoping to bring you a lot more videos, so I'd really appreciate if you subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon, that way you won't miss out on any videos. Also give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed and benefited from this video, and other than that, thanks very much for watching.